So your parents adopt a baseball prodigy from the Dominican Republic. He moves in with you guys. What's going on now?
Wow. Hilarious, but no. This is Trey, the kid you met in the last chapter. And the kid you'll be saying goodbye to, just as I was this very day. Sadly, I was doing the whole farewell number because I was moving again. Grand opening, grand closing. I'd arrived as the new kid at the beginning of the year, and I ended up an A-lister, so to speak. Felt like I had been living there my whole life. Now it was all being taken away. And despite the tremendous impact I'm sure I made, I doubt I went down as a legend in the history books. Perhaps the worst part is that I not only had to leave friends, but family as well. My brother, pictured here, and I wouldn't reconnect for about 2 years. Although, as I sat on the bottom bunk of the bed that I would also be leaving behind, the bed that I'd grown to hide fruit snacks, Swiss rolls, and love notes to Aubrey in, not this Aubrey, I'm sure I thought it'd be a lot longer. The fact is, uncertainty was now the main character in my life, and that, well, sucked. But on the topic of certainty, there was one thing I was starting to become certain about. As you may have noticed, I have jerseys on in both of the photos this chapter, which brings the question of, Melvin, what happened to your promising basketball career? The long answer is that despite my mom and dad enrolling me in every basketball league and camp available to kids, despite me having won the losers bracket of the yearly Gus Macker tournament, which was affectionately referred to as the Toilet Bowl, despite the soundtrack of NBA Live 2003 having the outstanding remix of Full Moon featuring Fat Joe, despite me having made a cringeworthy career retrospective on PowerPoint with my dad in anticipation of the achievements to come, link in the description, I was rapidly falling out of shape and contention because as far as geeky kids like me were concerned, physical activity was being replaced by PlayStation 2s and very soon the internet. Or you can go with the short answer. Literally. I was short. I was 10 years old and still about 2'3". The only thing I still had going for me was knowledge of the game and the fact that I sort of looked the part. Indeed, by this point, ball was life in appearance only, as evidenced by this embarrassing, inexplicable professional photograph that was taken. Shout out to Kmart. But on a less depressing note, my brother, while I was away, would grow to be a much better player than I ever was, so it's been cool to live vicariously through him these days. But I know, this is Melvin. So, what am I doing on the court these days? Not much. Occasionally I go play by myself and record myself playing out of curiosity, perhaps trying to look for slivers of past glory like a basketball version of Uncle Rico. Very sad. Then again, a few years ago I did drop 89 points on these bums, and a few weeks ago I did beat the high score on the NBA game at the movie theater. And I did win a 3-point contest back in 2016.
Let's go! Let's go!
But other than that, I'd say I'm certain that my basketball career, in this chapter, is over.
Psych! What you thought this was? Over-the-door basketball champion 3 years straight, and I won a dunk contest too. Anybody can get dropped off. Come see me. You know my address. Free fades for anybody. You, your granny, your...